Good morning from Raleigh, North Carolina. So, just to let you know, I'm just going to give you my qualifications about what I'm about to talk about. I don't have any. I don't really have any qualifications. um, but with that being said, I still want to talk about it. Also, a lot of times when I do these things, I'm really doing them a lot of times. Maybe I'm stressed out about something's really heavy, and something really heavy is going on right now. And so, a lot of times I do the mass release. But yes, all three of my degrees from BA to PhD are in history. But I did have somebody, it was a Facebook friend, a relative, who was talking on Facebook about something, and I guess she was arguing about something that she thought should be legal. And she said, and also, it is a plant, and she used language that I'm not going to use, but, you know, how could it possibly be a drug? Well, it just got me thinking that this person doesn't really, with all due respect, doesn't suffer nuance much. So, great person, but but and a lot of times if there's something that you're interested in, you may well not suffer nuance or anything that goes beyond your side. But let's talk about it. Um, so exactly what is a drug? Um, Now, I'd love for some, professional to chime in on this because I'd be amazed if I nailed this. Um, but from my understanding, a drug is anything that you consume, whether that be through, taking it by mouth, whether it means by inhaling it, whether it means by injecting it, or what have you. But whatever you consume can cause that would cause a chemical change or a physiological change. So, and this is beyond, providing nutrients, working toward feeding, or, quenching thirst. Um, so that's what it is. Um, it doesn't have to be manufactured. It doesn't have to be processed to be a drug. It can be something that you pull out right straight off from the ground. And if you're consuming it in a way that will cause a physiological change or chemical change to your body that has nothing to do with, you know, supplying nutrients or, or eating or, quenching thirst, things like that, then it's basically a drug. So, for example, I know I brought up eating, but let's say hunger suppression. So that's saying not bringing food to your body to, to stop the hunger, but let's say, taking medication that may well, bring hunger down. So let's say if you're a good sized person and you're trying to lose weight. Um, Euphoria. A lot of people who take drugs recreationally, oftentimes are taking them for, euphoria. Um, Stimulant. So, to stay up or, to stay jittery, depressant, so to, bring you down. Um, Combating a cold, right? These types of things. Combating depression. These are all, these things are drugs, right? Right now, I'm in the South. And so, we have pollen galore here. And so, pollen medications, right? Anything that could cause, if you will, a physiological change. Um, you know, you name it. Um, so that's basically what it is. A lot of times we tend to go outside of things. So, For example, we seem to divorce the term drugstore from other. Look, it's called drugstore for a reason because, they are oftentimes selling drugs. Now, obviously, there are drugs out there that society, maybe the law, have an issue with. Um, and so there's a stigma with the term drug. And my guess is my relative has an issue with the stigma. Um, but the drugs in the drugstore, whether it be children's Tylenol or what have you, and obviously drugs that maybe we want to be cautious about people having, you know, they're still grouped in as drugs. Now, obviously, there's going to be some things that we have to, separate from others, but they, they still, come in as drugs. And some of them, people feel that if they're in a controlled climate, that they could actually be, legitimate drugs. But yes. So it has nothing to do about whether or not something is processed or whether or not it is a plant. Also, sometimes you may have a case where you may have a drug within a beverage or a food. So, for example, caffeine. When I think of drugs, I guess I consume drugs in the sense that I consume, I drink coffee sometimes. I, eat chocolate. Obviously, sometimes I have NyQuil. For medical effects. But oftentimes, you could have a case where you may have a drug within something that's not a drug. So sometimes, when you say, well, is coffee a drug or a beverage? Well, it's a beverage, but it does, caffeinated coffee contains obviously caffeine. Well, caffeine is indeed a drug. And a lot of times when people are drinking it, what are they trying to do? They're trying to stay awake. So they may well be using it as a drug. What's alcohol? I don't drink alcohol, so, but, alcohol is considered a beverage, but the thing is, a lot of times when people drink alcohol, oftentimes they drink it for the effect, right? Of, kind of a change in state of mind of sorts. Sprightly, a physiological effect. So alcohol within, if you will, the beverage is indeed a drug. And then you have certain things that have so much alcohol in them, you may as well call it a drug. Well, I think there's some of these things, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think there's some things out there that are, 96% alcohol. Well, but at any rate, that's the key thing. So, we have to get past the stigmas. But yes. Some of these things where folks are thinking, well, okay, well, how could it possibly be a drug if nobody made it? But that's not how that works. Rather, is what impact does it have upon your body? What impact does it have on your body? And then there's also, it's like things like melatonin. Melatonin is considered a supplement that your body probably has it, but it needs to bring more of it. So that's always a question there too in regards to these supplements. But at any rate, there is my non-expert opinion. Hey folks, take care and have a wonderful day. Goodbye.